was only 9 days left for the biggest dance of democracy, and there's no end to the woes of Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal. After the Delhi High Court upheld his arrest, today Kejriwal was snubbed by the Supreme Court and the Rouse Avenue Court. And now his own Mantri has dumped the party. In the latest setback to the Aam Aadmi Party, its Delhi Minister Raaj Kumar Anand has tendered his resignation from the Arvind Kejriwal government and AAP. Why? He says that the party has become quote-unquote corrupt and that it does not give adequate representation to Dalits or respect its MLAs and cooperators from the community. Well, Anand himself was searched by the ED in November last year in connection with Liquorgate. Hours before his resignation, Raaj Kumar Anand on social media shared AAP MP Sanjay Singh's press conference. Now he says that he's inspired by the ideals of Baba Saheb Ambedkar and can't support a party that's corrupt and anti-Dalit.
और अरविंद केजरीवाल जी का कनेक्ट हुआ था, उस बात से हुआ था। उन्होंने इंडिया गेट पे इस पे रामलीला मैदान में खड़े होकर जंतर मंतर पे खड़ा होकर कहा था कि राजनीति बदलेगी तो देश बदलेगा। आज राजनीति नहीं बदली, लेकिन राजनेता बदल गए।
तो इस्तीफा आपने किसको सौंपा?
इस्तीफा मैंने भेज दिया सीएम ऑफिस
इस्तीफा भेजा।
आम आदमी पार्टी का जन्म ही भ्रष्टाचार के खिलाफ आंदोलन से हुआ था, लेकिन आज ये पार्टी खुद भ्रष्टाचार के दलदल में फंस चुकी है। मेरे लिए मंत्री पद पर रहकर इस सरकार में काम करना असहज हो गया है। मैं अब इस पार्टी, इस सरकार और अपने मंत्री पद से इस्तीफा दे रहा हूं, क्योंकि मैं इन भ्रष्ट आचरणों में अपना नाम नहीं जुड़वाना चाहता। मेरे लिए मंत्री पद पर रहकर इस सरकार में काम करना असहज हो गया है। मैं अब इस पार्टी, इस सरकार और अपने मंत्री पद से इस्तीफा दे रहा हूं, क्योंकि मैं इन भ्रष्ट आचरणों में अपना नाम नहीं जुड़वाना चाहता। मैं नहीं समझता कि हमारे पास शासन करने की कोई नैतिक ताकत बच गई है।
And while AAP alleged pressure tactics and misuse of agencies by BJP to break up netas, BJP refuted all the charges by AAP and claimed that the party now stands exposed by their own as it was knee-deep in corruption. Listen into the war of words.
जो केजरीवाल जी के सहयोगी 2010 से रहे हैं, उनकी आत्मा जाग गई है और उन्होंने भ्रष्टाचारियों का साथ छोड़ने का प्रयास करा है। केवल एक व्यक्ति है जिसका ज़मीर अभी तक नहीं जागा और वो है माननीय मुख्यमंत्री अरविंद केजरीवाल जी।
मैं मानता हूँ एक परिवार चलाने वाला आदमी, बच्चे हैं, परिवार है, इज्जत है, रिश्तेदार हैं, ऐसे में ईडी पकड़ के ले जाएगी, तिहाड़ में सालों सड़ाया जाएगा, ये सुन के वो डर गए। हर आदमी संजय सिंह नहीं है।
The minister's defection, though, isn't the only problem on Aam Aadmi Party's hands. In the last 24 hours, their pushback has been rebuffed 4 times. Even as the party launched the Jail Ka Jawab Vote Se campaign, the Delhi High Court upheld the Delhi CM's arrest and said that evidence shows his quote-unquote active involvement in the crime. After that today, the Supreme Court denied Arvind Kejriwal's request for an urgent hearing on his arrest and ED remand. The top court refused to set up a special bench for an urgent hearing, which means that the earliest that Kejriwal's plea can be heard in the court is on Monday. That is the 15th of April, after 4 public holidays. To make matters worse, Delhi's Rouse Avenue Court refused to increase the number of legal meetings while lodged in judicial custody. Now the question is, will Kejriwal be able to retain his chair and Mantris?
You're watching the News Hour at 10, debate number 1 on Times Now, Super Prime Time.
Let's take this across to our guest. Joining us is Sanju Verma, national spokesperson of the BJP. We have Dr. Anand Ragnathan, author, joining us. Piyush Joshi is a political analyst with us. We have Hakeem Rizwan Ilahi, who's a political analyst, as well as Kamruzaman Chaudhary. Let me start with you first, Piyush Joshi. The question is this, that today Raaj Kumar Anand has resigned, citing charges of corruption, said that the party that was supposed to take out corruption has today itself become corrupt. The question is that if leaders of the Aam Aadmi Party cannot be convinced on these questions of corruption, or alleged corruption, if you can call it that, how will you convince the people of Delhi and the people of other states where Aam Aadmi Party hopes to be in power?
Well, there will always be certain people who will not be strong enough to take the onslaught brought upon Aam Aadmi Party and the other opposition parties by the union government. So I totally understand the position Mr. Anand is in, and he has been holding 7 different portfolios since last almost 2 years, 1.5 years at least. So in last 1.5 years, he has been involved intricately with the functioning of the government. He did not find any reason to do so unless and until ED knocked on his door. So and as far as all the evidence about about the High Court judgment is concerned, the High Court has still not started examining the evidences presented before it. It has explicitly mentioned that prima facie. Okay, so prima facie is what the ED has presented before the court, and the process of examining of those examination of those evidences will start henceforth, like happened in the case of Mr. Sanjay Singh ji. So, there is many...
Piyush, no one saying trial has happened.
So,
Certainly there is no conviction either. There is always an opportunity to appeal all this in the court, and in fact it has been discussed that certain aspects can be discussed. The High Court has specifically mentioned that. All we are saying, if there was any blatant violation, the High Court, the Supreme Court would have certainly, not allowed the agency to get away. Was there any blatant violation? That doesn't seem to be happening, because today you have a situation where your minister is saying that AAP was born to fight corruption, but today the party is stuck in the swamp of corruption itself. And that's a very, very serious commentary coming in from Mr. Anand. But nevertheless, let me put that question across to Sanju Verma. Sanju Verma, the question coming in from the Aam Aadmi Party is this. They are saying that not everyone has the strength to withstand what the centre is bringing in, essentially saying that it's the ED investigation that somewhere has twisted the hand of Mr. Raaj Kumar Anand. Please respond to that.
Madhav, with no offense to none, I'm appalled. Look at the audacity of, the accused and an entire cabal. We've had people like Lalu Prasad Yadav, who was arrested in the mid-90s. You had Om Prakash Chautala, M. Karunanidhi, J. Jayalalitha, Madhu Koda, Hemant Soren very recently. But jaise hi Arvind Kejriwal was arrested, there's an entire bunch of these Luttians, YouTubers, who suddenly started popping up and down, jumping up and down, सीना ठोक कर, डंके की चोट पर, चोर से सवाल मत करिए, आरोपी से सवाल मत करिए. Their narrative is थानेदार से सवाल कीजिए. And I am very glad that yesterday, amongst the many points made by the Delhi High Court, what stood out for me was the fact that the Delhi High Court said in Hindi, अप्रूवर की स्टेटमेंट एनफोर्समेंट डायरेक्टरेट नहीं लिखती है. दिस इज व्हाट जस्टिस स्वरणकांत शर्मा सेड. अप्रूवर का स्टेटमेंट जुडिशियल मैजिस्ट्रेट लिखते हैं. एंड दिस स्टेटमेंट वाज मेड बाय जस्टिस स्वरणकांत शर्मा बिकॉज टाइम एंड अगेन the biggest defense that Aam Aadmi Party has put up, even on a zillion debates that I've done with you, Madhav, and elsewhere, is that, we cannot trust Dinesh Arora, who turned approver, by section 306 of the CRPC. We cannot trust what Sunny Marwa said. We cannot trust what Abhishek Boinpalli said. We cannot trust what Arun Ramchandra Pillai said. We cannot trust what Vijay Nair said. We cannot trust what Samir Mahendru said. The court clearly said that if somebody is in custody, but has made a statement either as an official approver or even otherwise, his statement is admissible under the Indian Evidence Act, and the ED is only doing its job because statements are recorded by the magistrate, clearly nailing the lies by the Aam Aadmi Party that the enforcement directorate is working as a handmaiden of the BJP. And the second most important thing, because I've been, again, on very quickly in 10 seconds, one statement that Aam Aadmi Party spokespeople always used to put up, why Kejriwal did not comply with the 9 summons that were issued to him? Because we were not sure ये chief minister के तौर पे बुलाया गया है, individual capacity में बुलाया गया है,
yes,
as the convener of AAP के तौर पे बुलाया गया है.
Absolutely.
Even that
the court has said, you're right, the court has said that, the court has said, Sanju Verma, we actually had an extensive debate on what the High Court said yesterday. So forgive me for interrupting you. I'm going to bring in some of the newer points that have come in from today's hearings. And one of those points, Piyush Joshi, is this. Today, in fact, the court has specifically said, the trial court, that the applicant has failed to convince the court that the meetings are being used solely for the purposes of discussing pending litigations, which means that there could be other official work happening. So even, leave alone what the High Court said yesterday, even these pleas that, more meetings should be allowed, all of these are being rejected by the courts. Very clearly, there is a pattern here.
We can try and derive a pattern, we can try and conjure a pattern. But the truth of the matter remains the same, that like Mr. Anand or maybe others, no, like Ajit Dada Pawar or anything, दाग अच्छे हैं भारतीय जनता पार्टी के लिए, ठीक है, क्योंकि यदि दागी व्यक्ति होगा तो उसको भाजपा में ला सकते हो. यदि अरविंद केजरीवाल दागी होता ना, तो अभी एनडीए का पार्ट होती आम आदमी पार्टी. Just because he has the spine to resist the onslaught, the brazen attack of Bharatiya Janata Party on Aam Aadmi Party, and that is why the Bharatiya Janata Party and the union government is rattled. We can debate upon the legalities, for times immemorial. Similarly, incriminating evidence was seen by all the Bharatiya Janata Party spokesperson on a number of debates against Sanjay Singh ji as well. Now, what has come of it? Still, the trial is underway, and Sanjay Singh ji's judgment is yet to be pronounced. And that is what my point is, that the judgments are yet to be pronounced. And that is and we should hold our horses till then. Meanwhile, the political battle is to be fought politically, and it will be fought strongly, whether likes of Mr. Anand remain or go. Material, the leader remains Mr. Arvind Kejriwal, and the Bharatiya Janata Party has done a critical mistake at this juncture by arresting the most popular.
No, you're entitled to that opinion. You're entitled to that opinion, but since you put a question across to BJP, Sanju Verma, please respond.
Thank you. Mr. Joshi made, absolutely reckless allegations. I will just say this. Ashok Tawar, who was the head of the Haryana unit of Aam Aadmi Party, he is now contesting on a BJP ticket from Sirsa. There was no allegation against him. The ED was not investigating him. But Ashok Tawar, while leaving the Aam Aadmi Party, said he's fed up of the lack of leadership and the incompetence of Arvind Kejriwal. इसलिए वो आम आदमी पार्टी छोड़ रहे हैं. Similarly, Ajay Kothiyal, rather Colonel Ajay Kothiyal, who was the head of your Uttarakhand AAP unit, Ajay Kothiyal and hundreds of Aam Aadmi Party workers in Uttarakhand, lock, stock and barrel left Aam Aadmi Party's Uttarakhand unit, again saying the same thing. Arvind Kejriwal showcases zero leadership, is incompetent. तो अजय कोठियाल के खिलाफ तो कोई केस नहीं था. And remember, Madhav, what Raaj Kumar Anand said, he's not just the social welfare minister or the land and building minister, he's also the SC/ST minister. And he's clearly said, Arvind Kejriwal is not only anti-women and anti-poor, he's anti-Dalit and anti-Adivasi. Imagine if a minister in the Modi cabinet had accused Narendra, please keep quiet. I did not heckle you, you have a bad habit of...
Okay, make your conclude your point, Sanju Verma.
Come on, behave.
Conclude your point. Okay, conclude your point quickly.
Personal.
Madhav,
don't be personal, better behave.
Please keep quiet. I did not heckle you.
Okay,
very tolerant.
One by one, please. Let's not get personal. There's absolutely no need to make personal comments. Quickly conclude your point. 10 seconds, Sanju Verma.
Madhav, imagine if, today we have about 18 Dalit ministers in Modi's cabinet, 12 ministers who are Adivasis, 37 who are OBCs. Imagine if a Dalit minister from Modi's cabinet accuses Narendra Modi as being anti-Dalit, anti-Adivasi. The entire media will say, oh, Modi's senior cabinet minister accuses Modi of being anti-Dalit. But the fact that Raaj Kumar Anand has accused Arvind Kejriwal of being...
Let me put that question across to Hakeem Rizwan Ilahi. Hakeem Rizwan Ilahi, I want you to come in on this debate. A senior minister resigning and leveling the charge that this government or this party is against the interests of Dalits, of Adivasi, so on and so forth. You would have seen the comments of Mr. Anand, which are now being repeated by Sanju Verma. Please respond to her.
See, the kind of developments that have been taken place or that have taken place recently. You can look at the politics of Bharatiya Janata Party. Bharatiya Janata Party is scared. See, if in the upcoming Lok Sabha elections, if they fall short of just 50 seats, it's gonna turn the tables. And the kind of leaders which are just not happy with Bharatiya Janata Party and the Modi-led BJP, they are gonna bounce back on them. So Bharatiya Janata Party is scared. They are scared of Aam Aadmi Party and the kind of popularity that Aam Aadmi Party is getting, not only across India but across the world. People have started speaking in favor of Arvind Kejriwal ji. So that's why they didn't want Aam Aadmi Party and Arvind Kejriwal ji to speak and run the campaigns in the upcoming Lok Sabha election, and this is all the result of it. And talking about the case, the liquor policy case that they have been bragging about since so long. I mean, since 2 years, our leaders like Manish Sodia, Sanjay Singh ji, all these leaders have been put behind bars. and not even a trail of a single rupee has been shown by the ED or CBI. And if we talk about ED and CBI, it's the report of Ministry of Home Affairs. All the raids that CBI and ED has carried out till now, 95% of them are on the opposition parties, and the conviction rate is just 0.5%. Today, the whole India, our nation, is seeing what is happening to the political sphere, to the economic sphere, to the developmental sphere of our nation.
Dr. Ranganathan,
youth of India, which the Bharatiya Janata Party
I got your points. I got your points. You're saying that the central government is rattled by the popularity of Mr. Arvind Kejriwal nationally and internationally. Dr. Ranganathan, they're so rattled, and that's why taking this action against the Aam Aadmi Party. Please respond to Mr. Eli.
Yes.
Good evening, Madhav, and good evening to my fellow panelists. I don't know whether all of us might be in the knowledge that Tihar Jail Health Bulletin has just now been released, and it says that the Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal's weight has in fact increased by 1 kilo. That means 1 kg of his conscience has returned, Madhav, out of the 4.5 kilos of conscience that he had lost. This is very encouraging, and it proves that a stint behind bars can do wonders for one's moral repositioning. No, but to be serious, there are 2 points here. Number one, I'm absolutely shocked by some of the AAP leaders who are now deceitfully, patronizingly insinuating that the AAP minister who has resigned was weak because he was raided by ED. His company was raided by ED back in November of 2023. So this man has been with Kejriwal, his right-hand man, for 13 years. Stood with Kejriwal through thick and thin. Has been a minister with portfolio 7 times. And now just because after the High Court judgment, he says, I can no longer be in this party, they are saying he was weak. Is this the way you repay someone who co-founded your party that was supposed to remove corruption? And second, this is very important, how shameless can Arvind Kejriwal be? Remember back in 2012, this was the same guy who was demanding the resignation of the sitting Chief Minister, Ms. Sheila Dikshit, because he claimed, quote, that she had indulged in corruption and used the proceeds of crime. Now when none other than the High Court has claimed that Kejriwal conspired to use and conceal the proceeds of crime, Kejriwal refuses to resign. And it is not just the High Court, Madhav. Here are the details from the CAG report. Loss due to not obtaining timely permission, 941 crores. Loss due to not re-tendering surrendered zones, 890 crores. Loss due to incorrect grant of favors to licenses, 144 crores. Loss due to incorrect collection of security deposit, 27 crores. And CAG report comes at the back of the Supreme Court that said, quote, there was conspiracy on drafting the new excise policy. It was meant to help those who gave kickbacks. PMLA offence was supported by material evidence. VAT was reduced to 1%. 7% excess commission was given amounting to 338 crores lost to Exchequer. AAP forced the company to give up its 20% market share in favor of another company. So what is Kejriwal waiting for? The rest of the 3.5 kilos of his conscience to return to him?
Respond to that, Mr. Eli.
Yes, I would like to say, see, first of all, what they have been talking about, this liquor scam policy has gone through, different departments and different people. And one of these persons that it has gone through is LG. And one of the persons it has gone through is Chief Secretary. Why aren't they talking about the LG? Why isn't LG being framed in this? Tell me, I want to question Bharatiya Janata Party. What was LG doing in Delhi if this has happened under his nose? Why didn't they speak about it earlier? So it's all a propaganda. And the approvers that they have been telling that because of the approvers, they have taken the statements from the approvers, Reddy and Magunta. Today we see Magunta that has been given a ticket in the NDA, in TDP. So these are the kind of people that they are talking about.
No, but the High Court responded to that. The High Court actually said that talking about we're not here to discuss party politics, we're discussing the law. That's what the High Court said. But yes, Dr. Ranganathan, quick response. Quick response. Has the investigation been selective? And what about the approvers who now have political links with the allies of the BJP, namely the TDP? Please respond, Dr. Ranganathan.
Yeah, very quickly. Sir, I didn't interrupt you. Thank you very much. Look, 2 points here. Number one, I would like the AAP sympathizers or supporters to address the direct point. Is it or is it not the fact that the High Court said that prima facie Arvind Kejriwal used and cornered the proceeds of crime? Let's not beat about the bush. And number two, the previous panelist who's been supporting so vociferously... Sir, please, I did not interrupt you. I didn't
Yeah,
interrupt.
let him make his point. You can respond. Yeah.
Same thing in Sanjay Singh's case.
We are having a wonderful conversation. There is no need to degenerate.
There is
Thank
time.
you.
There is time on this debate. There is yet another speaker to come in also. But yeah, Dr. Raghunathan, please conclude. Yeah.
Yes, as I was saying, this gentleman who has been vociferously defending Arvind Kejriwal, perhaps he doesn't know that the ex-minister Anand was vociferously defending Kejriwal for 13 years. Now tomorrow, if confronted with this gentleman's moral conscience, he also leaves Aam Aadmi Party. He must be careful. He might be branded weak. Sir, do you want to be branded weak? Be careful.
All right, all right. Let me come in on another aspect of this, and I want to bring in Kamruzaman Chaudhary. Kamruzaman Chaudhary, on the one hand, you have Sanjay Singh, who today says that the centre wants to turn Tihar jail into Adolf Hitler's notorious gas chambers. On the other hand, you have the Tihar jail authorities who actually are putting out reports which Dr. Raghunathan just quoted to say that he's not just in the pink of health. His health is perhaps flourishing inside the jail. Even Kamruzaman Chaudhary is laughing at that. Yeah.
ईद मुबारक।
Kamruji is laughing.
देशवासियों को भी
Kamruji हंस रहा है।
या देशवासियों को भी देशवासियों को भी ईद मुबारक। कल शावई भिजवा देंगे, आपका भी वजन बढ़ जाएगा। इतना जलो मत भाई, जेल में बैठकर तो चक्की पीसेंगे, थोड़ा बहुत तो वजन तो बढ़ेगा ही। हाँ, leaving the jokes apart, Madhav, when you come to the main topic of discussion today, I won't be mincing my words tonight out here. We might be in an alliance with the Aam Aadmi Party, but that's not an alliance, we call it a seat adjustment. But the karma has come a full 360 degree out here. The same Sheila Dixit against whom Arvind Kejriwal used to spit venomous languages against her. When the Aam Aadmi Party, Bharatiya Janata Party and the RSS, along with Anna Hazare and his team, teamed up, sat on dharna with their so-called India against corruption. Now, most of these people, they have been found or they might be involved in corruption charges of varying degrees. I'm not coming into this. But now the laughable thing is that this same, what Raaj Kumar Anand, whatever he has stated today while resigning from the minister post, is being taken as the gospel truth by this same Bharatiya Janata Party spokesperson out here. This indeed is laughable. When you speak about the 1,76,000, a notional loss, the same thing that is being portrayed out here by the Bharatiya Janata Party, that the government of Delhi has lost so many thousands of crores. But what do you know exactly, Madhav? The people of India, on a basis of a survey by a leading portal, it said around 43% of Indians, a overwhelming majority, still feel that the Bharatiya Janata Party is using the ED, CBI, income tax to found the opposition.
Madhav, I need to
sure.
respond now.
Yeah. No, but Sanju Verma, I think there's a very important point. Yeah. Conclude, please conclude, Kamruzaman Chaudhary. Yeah.
Let me finish, please, Madhav.
Yeah, quickly.
Yeah. From 2014 till 2024, there are around 25 cases I can list out here, out of which opposition leaders were arrested, charged by the ED, CBI and under various acts, out of which 20 of them, the cases have been kept into the cold storage.
Okay.
Without no actions being taken.
I will put that question to Sanju Verma in just a minute. I will put that question, sir.
Been dropped.
I'm saying that I will put that question to Sanju Verma in just a minute. But the first part of your comment was very important, because there would be actually a few congressmen in the Delhi unit of the Congress would be very happy to hear that from you, because the AICC has taken a very different route when it comes to the approach to the Aam Aadmi Party. And therefore, I want to ask Piyush Joshi this. Piyush Joshi, here is Kamruzaman Chaudhary, no supporter of the BJP. He is very much a congressman who says that it is karma coming full circle for Arvind Kejriwal and Aam Aadmi Party today.
Well, Mr. Chaudhary is entitled to his opinion, and I respect that at it. But that doesn't prevent me from having my opinion. And let me respond to my ever-eloquent friend Anand Ranganathan ji when he mentioned the CAG report in a single breath without taking even a pause. When you talk about the CAG reports, those were when we can, keep on discussing about that liquor Gotala, because those were not being opened. Those shops were being opened in non-conforming zones, and the LG objected to it, and they required the DDS permission to it. That is why they did not go for re-tendering. So to say that the CAG report on the alleged loss of 2,000 crore rupees is because of, corruption is not only preposterous, but is biased as well. Now, how do you examine bias? Being a student of science, let me just take 20 seconds to complete that.
Quickly.
You take two groups. Yes, just 20 seconds. You take two groups, Group A and Group B. And you measure the level of activity according to the statistical principles norms, and then you determine bias. So you take a Group A of BJP leaders and Group B of opposition leaders and examine bias. You can take any kind of statistical test you want, and then you will be easily able to ascertain how biased the ED is, which is phenomenally.
Okay, Dr. Nathan and then Sanju Verma. Yeah, Dr. Nathan.
Yeah, Dr. Joshi has raised very valid points, but number one, it is no one's grouse that the ED is biased. In fact, myself, Madhav and so many others have been shouting from the rooftop that yes, ED is being selective, but that's not the question here, Dr. Joshi. The question that you time and again refuse to answer is that nothing less than the High Court has castigated Arvind Kejriwal for sequestering and using the proceeds of crime. And as far as liquor policy is concerned, sir, a flawed policy remains a flawed policy. It may not be. For example, when Kejriwal was accusing others of Colgate, 2G, was he also not castigating the flawed policy? So please let us not go down red herring and, wild goose chase to say that CAG is wrong, High Court is wrong. Ultimately, when Arvind Kejriwal said all those against whom corruption allegations have been made should resign, why is he not resigning despite the High Court telling him that he is involved?
Yes, and let me bring in Sanju Verma on the other point that was made, because, I think there was an important point made by Kamruzaman Chaudhary. 23 out of 25 leaders, Sanju Verma, who joined the BJP have got reprieve in various corruption cases. And, this includes a long list of people, even those who are allied with the BJP, for instance, whether it's Ajit Pawar, Praful Patel, etc. Can you refute the whitewash charge that is being made repeatedly by the opposition?
I need my time to respond. Very pointedly, first and foremost, I will say this. People who are saying that liquor scam to hua hi nahi, and casting aspersions at the ED, and with no offense to Anand Ranganathan when he says that, of course the ED is biased and, he's admitted to as much on umpteen debates. I would just like to point out that while the CVC Act of 2003, ED is a statutory autonomous body. The NIA, which came up in 2008, is an autonomous body. The CAG is an autonomous body via Article 148 of the Constitution, and the CBI is an autonomous body via the DPSC Act of 1946 and the CVC Act of 2003. So when you raise questions about the bona fides of the ED, the CBI, the income tax authorities, income tax also, by the way, is a statutory body via the CVDT Act of 1963. You are undermining the credibility of the very constitution that you profess to protect. Point number one. Point number two, यहाँ बोला गया था, किसी ने कहा कि why has the LG not been made a party? In fact, it was the LG who brought this to the notice of the Chief Secretary Naresh Kumar, and the Naresh Kumar, why the LG ordered a probe into the liquor scam. If anything, you and me should be applauding VK Saxena, the LG. Point number three, it is not just about Vinay Kumar Saxena. Look at the track record of Arvind Kejriwal. He had a problem with Najib Jung. He had a problem with Anil Baijal. Sushma Swaraj was the Chief Minister of Delhi. She never had a problem with the LG who was from the Congress. Madan Lal Khurana of the BJP was the Chief Minister of Delhi. He never had a problem with the then LG who was from the Congress. And Sahib Singh Verma of the BJP was the Chief Minister of Delhi. He never had a problem with the then LG who was from the Congress. We never said that the Congress oriented LG is victimizing the BJP Chief Minister. So the third point is stop playing the victim. And the fourth and the most important point, I'm appalled. यहाँ चोर से सवाल नहीं हो रहा, आरोपी से सवाल नहीं हो रहा है. Each time I come on a debate, it is the enforcement directorate which is being put through a litmus test. Enforcement directorate does not have to prove its credentials to either Madhav or Sanju Verma or Anand Ranganathan or Piyush Joshi or Kamruzaman Chaudhary. Learn to respect the statutory investigation agencies of your country, and if you can't do that, you should just zip it.
Well, Sanju Verma, I can only say this, that the enforcement directorate, if nothing else, will have to prove its charges in a court of law, if not its credentials. And that certainly is its job as an investigating agency. And certainly, of course, while you're entitled to your opinion, every agency is subject to the rule of law. Every agency has certain parameters in which they have to operate in. And if various political parties feel that it's not doing so, they also have a right to raise that. it is, of course, nobody's case that there are bodies such as the NHRC, etc., that look into whether there is overreach as far as different agencies of the country are concerned. But having said that, I'd like to thank all our panelists for joining us on debate number 1. Sanju Verma and Dr. Anand Raghunathan, as well as Kamru Zaman Chaudhary, join us for debate number 2. Piyush Joshi and Hakeem Rizwan Ilahi, thanks so much for joining us on this debate.